Welcome to Megapath Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 4 predictions. Now, this episode is primarily going to be Negan coming to Alexandria to collect his first offering. Now, I'm really kind of hoping this look right here is Negan's turning around looking at Carl, who's saying some very not friendly shit. And I'm really hoping that they do keep some of the comic Carl and Negan storyline. That specific element, I hope they keep. There's the one element where he goes to the sanctuary and they have a whole gun mishap scene. I don't need that specific scene, but if they can, in essence, keep the other essence of that scene, I'll be completely fine with that. If you're a comic book fan, you know what I mean. Basically, the gun ship, we could take that out because it feels kind of silly in the show at this point in time with how they have things set up. I wouldn't buy it in the comic book, and I think it has a lot to do with the actor aging in real life, because in the comic book, man, it fits. It fits. Here's Dwight comes over, kicks the shit out of Carl, and Negan's like, shocks everybody, even the reader. What are you doing? Why are you beating on a kid, you know? Killed a couple of my men, but we'll punish him somehow. Just you wait and see. And in reality, Negan actually uses that to his advantage to basically say sorry for killing Rick's friends. It's clever as shit. Negan does that multiple times. 2 times off the top of my head that I can think of in the comic book where Negan basically breaks his own rules and apologizes to Rick, and he tells him, I saved your life in this moment, but you keep all your food. I don't know. There's just some interesting scenes. It's a little more complex than this tyrant, and I'm hoping we see some of that shit because a lot of people are going to be expecting Negan to show up at Alexandria just threatening people and being a monster. I'm actually really excited to see a smartass, but somebody who's in a contradictory way, quite reasonable, understanding. I want to see that element of Negan that made us love him in a comment, that he beats the shit out of you when he shows up. He puts you in line. He just destroys your world. But afterwards, I don't know, he treats you like you guys are buddies now after that experience, you know? Even if you should definitely hate his fucking guts. With that said, I don't think this episode will be just Negan at Alexandria interacting with Rick and gang. I do feel like the majority of this episode could be that, but I feel like they're going to take advantage of how they're jumping around with the time because they're sticking with one community, basically, per episode. Now, that being said, for example, Daryl's episode 3, was that over a whole week? Because it felt like it was over a decent period of time. So right about where episode 3 is ending, episode 4, wherever, I don't know if they're going to show us them coming back from episode 1, I don't know if they're going to show us a week later. I kind of feel like if they do, it's because throughout the episode, we're going to be like, holy shit, here's a broken Rick. This guy's broken. He's going to do everything Negan says. He still looks terrified. And then towards the end of the episode, we're going to get introduced to a remixed version of the comic storyline where we're like, holy shit, no, Rick has a secret operation going. This kicks ass. You know, Rick isn't broken. Shit is going to pop off. But right now, it's just gathering intel because Rick is not going to make the same mistake he made the first time, which, as a comic fan, I'm really interesting because in the comic, Rick fucks up again. I mean, man, I love Rick, but yeah, he fucks up. He rushed it the first time and he fucks up. And that's what creates the second lineup. Anyway, with that said, I don't want them to add in a bunch of filler here. I do want to see some aftermath of Rick telling the group, because he's not going to sit there for a whole week and then when Negan shows up, take everyone to the church and be like, okay guys, this is what's going on. I feel like that conversation sounds like it's more for Negan to see that Rick is doing what he should do, and he's like, look guys, you know, this is who's in charge, Negan's in charge now, yada yada yada. I feel like, or maybe they are messing with the audio. That could be definitely a thing where Rick says that and Negan's not there, and then they're, you know, dubbing it over in the trailer to make it seem like Negan is present when he's telling his group that. Either way, I do want to see a little bit from before Negan shows up, and I'm not talking the same day. I don't really want to skip time unless they're skipping time to give us some kind of reveal later on. That being said, if we see a little bit with Jesus or the kingdom, leaving us with a little bit of mystery of what happened with Maggie and them, because they keep saying that Maggie and Jesus in the Hilltop won't be till episode 5, which is interesting, kind of, sort of, but if we get Jesus alone in the hilltop area or out on a run, that might explain some of it. Bottom line, I feel like this is going to be a fun episode, especially for comic book fans, just for the interaction. With that said, they're definitely hiding something. I don't know if it's going to be Jesus in this storyline. I don't know if they're hiding more story that they're not showing us in the trailer that's going to take place at the Sanctuary and Alexandria. We're going to see them traveling on the road. I doubt they would show that. I kind of feel like a lot of the filming, unless it's something specific, will take place either at a community or on some deserted road like we saw in the last episode. But with that said, I'm really looking forward to this episode. I don't think anyone's going to die. No worries there. But you leave your thoughts, opinions, and predictions down in that comment box. What do you think's coming for The Walking Dead episode 4? I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.